guys. Sorry I haven't been on YouTube for a while, but obviously I've had life got in the way, in fact. But I just wanted to make some comments really on the forthcoming elections in the Philippines in 2022. I know that this October is the final opportunity to file your candidacy for your obviously positions in government in the Philippines. There's a number of things being bandied about at the moment, but, the things that I wanted to focus on is who would actually be running for president and vice president. I appreciate the fact that I'm not a Filipino voter, but even so, I'm interested in how things are playing out at the moment. The fact is, many have said that Inday Sara Duterte would be running as president. In fact, she said recently that she wouldn't actually rule it out. And I know she's made a lot of positive, bold statements. I know she now has a Facebook page, and clearly she's considering it. And clearly, I know that many would want her to run as president. Now, here's the dilemma, really. If Inday Sara Duterte runs as president, then who would be her vice president or her running mate? Now, a lot of people have said Bongbong Marcos, or BBM as he is known as. The fact is that in the previous election, Bongbong Marcos very nearly became vice president. And of course, there was arguments over whether he was cheated or not, whether there was some kind of election fraud. And it's not for me to say that. I don't understand the issue enough. But all I would say is clearly there were a lot of people voting for Bongbong Marcos. And clearly he could have very easily been vice president. And, I would expect that he would run again as vice president. Even his sister, Amy Marcos, said today that it would be an honor for Bongbong Marcos to run as vice president with Inday Sara Duterte as president, or to run in a tandem. And I know they met previously, and I don't know whether they discussed the forthcoming election or whether they discussed running together. But the fact is, I think I would support, or I would really be in favor of that particular tandem, if you like, Inday Sara Duterte as president and Bongbong Marcos as vice president. In the meantime, President Rodrigo Duterte has accepted the candidacy for vice president, i.e. PDP Laban, the party that he's a part of, has clearly said that they would accept him as vice president or nominate him as vice president. And he said he would accept that position. So that would mean that if Inday Sara runs as president and her father runs as vice president, you would have the Duterte 2022 situation where you would have father or daughter, father and daughter running for office. But here's where it becomes an issue. The camp of Bongbong Marcos have said previously they won't run against any Duterte. So for those who are saying that Bongbong Marcos will run as president, if Inday Sara Duterte runs as president, how will that be possible? Because it means both of them will be running as president, and clearly one of them will be trying to win against the other one. So my point is, this is going to split the vote, and it's clearly a bit of a worry or concern. So there again, if you have President Duterte as vice president and Bongbong Marcos also running as vice president, again, clearly there's going to be an issue. Clearly there's going to be a clash, if you like. And, you can't run as vice president against another opponent and say how wonderful the other opponent is going to be. You've got to think that there's got to be some kind of issue there, or some kind of I'm better than you. So the question is, will Bongbong Marcos run as vice president if President Duterte fails his candidacy as vice president? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So there is another issue. So the question is, will President Duterte run as vice president and then step down at the last minute if Bongbong Marcos runs as vice president? Or will Sara Duterte want to run with her father? I don't know. Then, of course, you have the candidacy of Bongo or Senator Bongo. I know that President Duterte has relied on Bongo for a long time. They've been very good friends. Bongo has been a massive supporter of President Duterte and the whole Duterte family. He's been like the kind of chief in waiting, if you like, or the right-hand man of President Duterte. Wherever you see the president in any kind of event, or if he's visiting victims of, say, a typhoon, he will always be with Senator Bongo. So then you would assume that it would naturally come to pass that he would be running with Senator Bongo. Some people have said Senator Bongo would run as president. Some people have said that he would run in another position. But the fact is, if Senator Bongo and President Duterte, so President Duterte would run as vice president, Bongo would run as president, and then if you have Sara Duterte also running as president, then again this is an issue, because it would mean Sara Duterte and Bongo would again be going head to head for the presidency. And again, would Bongo run against any member of the Duterte family? If Sara Duterte runs and Bongo runs, then of course he would be running against the daughter of the president. So in fact, this becomes very, very, I think, messy, or at least it would split the vote. Or my worry is that if there is this fight, if you like, or there's this dispute, or if there's this unsure who to vote for between BBM and Inday Sara Duterte, I think this would definitely lead to a split vote. And if the DDS vote is split, I think this would then give an opportunity for, say, Lenny or for, say, another candidate to go on and win the presidency and cut both of them out. So I think this is a very, very difficult election coming. And I think there's a number of possibilities. There's a number of options. And I know there's massive anticipation. Let me just say that, of course, I support Bongbong Marcos. I've met his sister, Senator Amy Marcos. She's an excellent politician. She clearly knows what she's talking about. She has a lot of experience. I listened to her in the Senate making a speech, and she's clearly a very, very seasoned politician. And this particular video is not to go against any candidate. I support the Duterte family. I've supported President Duterte for a long time. I've met his daughter, Inday Sara Duterte. She's an excellent speaker, very charismatic, an excellent politician. She's done a wonderful job in Davao, and I'm sure she'd make a wonderful president. And how good would it be to have a woman president in the Philippines? She does so much for women and children in Davao, and I know she's an excellent, strong leader. And I think it might be right for a woman to be president of the Philippines. I think this might do so much for empowerment of women and women's rights. And then again, I also think that the legacy of President Duterte needs to continue. He's done so much in the war on drugs, in the Bill program, and I'd wish that to continue. Now, if any Duterte family member is not in that particular running, then, I don't know what's going to happen with that legacy, unless Bongo is involved in some way. And then people talk about a political dynasty. Now, a political dynasty is when somebody would actually take over, or a family member. For example, you'd have the father running and then the daughter would automatically succeed. That's not happening in this case. There's no automatic succession. The fact is the Filipino people have a choice who they would vote for. And some people have said this. I know Orion has said that if you have a good political family and they are doing a good job and they're excellent politicians, then he doesn't see any problem with it whatsoever. But if there's a family who are winning positions just because they're a family, then I think that might be a problem. The fact is, in the Philippines, they have this system where, say, a political family, you might be a son or a cousin or a brother, and you automatically succeed as mayor, or you're kind of, if you like, you're part of that family and people would vote you for the family name. It's not like that with the Duterte family. President Duterte has been an excellent leader, an excellent president, and his daughter has taken care of Davao, as mayor of Davao, and the other family members are there. You can't dispute that, but they've been properly elected. There was no automatic succession. They're elected by the people of Davao because they were good at their job, because they're seasoned politicians. They know the area well, they know the city well, they're doing a good job. This is not an endorsement campaign for the Duterte family, but I just think it's very, very interesting to see how this election will play out. And I can't wait to hear the filing of the candidacy. And there's a lot of people saying BBM Duterte or Duterte BBM. They don't mind either way. But then again, you've got a lot of people saying BBM as president. And the question is, how will BBM be president if he doesn't actually run as president? As far as I'm concerned, that's impossible. He can't be running for vice president and all of a sudden that particular camp vote him as president. That doesn't make any sense. As vice president, though, I think he would do an excellent job. The family have a lot of experience and I would support them. Again, I'm not Filipino. I'm only commenting the way I see it through my experience in social media, through a lot of the comments that I've heard. But at the end of the day, let the best man or woman win. And I'm sure it's going to be an excellent upcoming election, although it could be quite controversial. And let's see how it goes. But I wish everyone my very best wishes. Thank you.